All right, here we go. This was the Cincinnati game. Great to see BYU get a victory. Obviously, a slow start to the first half for the offense, but then they got things rolling right before halftime. We're going to dive in and take a look at how they were able to make that drive happen, what plays they used, and also some of the big plays from the second half. Again, great win for BYU. Let's go take a look at how they got it done. All right, this is the first run that pops here in the first quarter. I want to talk about why this works. Basically, when you look at the way that their front, I'm going to talk about this inside technique right here, okay? This shade looks like he's in the like a one technique here. I can't tell if he's totally on the center because I can't see the back view, but one thing that he does that helps this run is that as he crosses the center's face, he ends up working all the way back to the B gap here. So you have A gap there, B gap there. He ends up working all the way over here to the B gap. Now, probably not by design, but as we go front side zone here, and all of our linemen work this way, our back's going to work here, they're going to try to attack. This center believes that he's got to try to cut off that shade there. So as he works to cut there, and then this player not only goes back one gap, but two gaps, that really helps us out because now this guard has an easier block there. We're going to be able to get the center up to the backer. And now two key blocks here, the tackle out on their end, and then the block that we get here by our guard. So this block that we get on by our guard, for there, you can call it their Mike backer here. Depends on how you view it. It depends on, are we viewing this as corner? Oh, sorry, I'll go like this. Are we viewing this as corner, safety, nickel, corner? If so, that places him as the Mike. Or are we seeing this as, this is the nickel, this is the Mike, this is the Sam? I'm guessing the way that it actually works out because I'm noticing now this is Isaac here. This right here is probably Sam, Mike, nickel. Here's the strong safety. So it's the block that we get up here on the Mike. So here we're going to work there. We get all the way up front side. Now these blocks are key here. Sustain that, work up to the backer. We've already got this sealed off on this side because of that guy going back two gaps. So we're working up there. He's not going to be able to make the play because of the action. Right now, one thing that they do is with two guys off this edge, this guy should be able to go a lot faster on the run because right here, we have somebody for the quarterback if he keeps. So he should attack a lot harder. What he doesn't, and then we get away with a little bit of a hold, which happens, right? That happens a lot of the time in these inside zones. We get a little bit of a hold that we don't get called for right there, as you can see. But it's great to see us get on our blocks, get up, and get this first down run. This is a really nice little cut right here by our back. As he sees that safety pursuing right there, a little cut back. This was really nice to be able to get on 2nd and 10, a run by just handing off inside zone. All right, here we go. 1st and 10, 26 seconds to go in the half. Cincinnati's going to bring cover one pressure here. They're going to bring these backers. They're going to play man coverage everywhere else. And then they're going to have this safety sitting in the middle of the field. So BYU is going to go with double goes. What that means is they're going to have outside go routes out here. And then on the inside, this receiver basically is going to read. We've talked about this before. If he has middle open, he's going to go ahead and take the middle. If he has middle closed, which means a safety in the middle, he's going to snap it off. Keaton recognizes he's got man coverage. In one of these, he's got press over here. So he's going to take chase. Now, this is something you don't see very often. Keaton feels the safety is going to rotate to the middle of the field. Okay, so he knows what I can do is I can just take my eyes, keep him moving this way, and it's going to free up space down here for me to have opportunity to win on the go. So he sees the safety. Then he's going to come over here. Well, Chase inside releases. He makes a move here. He inside releases. Normally what you would be thinking is then that person is going to try to restack himself and get back on top for a downfield ball. This is great that they're on the same page. As he beats him inside, Keaton throws this ball almost what looks like a skinny post, right? Just he puts it pretty flat, pretty inside, and Chase stays on the inside of this defender. He doesn't restack, almost because this defender, you can kind of notice it here, stays on top of him as Chase goes inside, and then as he starts to get vertical, this player actually stays on top of him. So Keaton throws just like almost how you would throw a seam ball with a player outside of you, but he's doing it outside to receiver number one here. So People don't realize the uniqueness of this throw in this given situation. He went there because I have press one-on-one. I'm going to give you a chance to win over the top. Chase wins inside. This was not by any means a design skinny or, they're not planning on that. That's where the win was able to be done, and they took it. And Keaton threw a great ball, and they make a big play. And they get right down here, inside the 35-yard line with 19 seconds left. It was a great play. All right, here we go. 14 seconds left. BYU's moving the football right here. They're going to choose this man beater. And what this is a version of a twist play, which basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a natural rub or pick as the inside receiver is going to stutter and then he's going to wheel around everybody. What you're hoping that as you have locked up man coverage, that as these players run their inside breaking routes, that the player that is covering number 3, which means this player right here, as he's covering him, he gets tied up. And then he can't work through the mess. In this situation right here, there is some confusion of who has who. Because from the looks of it, it looks like he's taking him. When the ball is snapped, it now looks like he is assuming he's over the top, that he is there, and that this player is taking him. Okay? So I think there's a bit of confusion on Cincinnati's end just because as this player plays what he thinks now is I'm the free safety, this player's looking as if I'm there. As soon as it goes, he takes his eyes to one of these outside receivers as if they're going to pass things off, meaning it's almost as if he feels like he's taking part in some type of triangle, meaning any inbreaker, I will take him. Any outbreaker, you take him. But that's not what happens here. And there's major confusion. And if you watch, you can see right here how his head is turned. They do not have our receiver accounted for whatsoever. And that's why when this ball gets up in the air, he's absolutely uncovered. Everybody is occupied by these receivers in here. And there's that one lone backer that felt like I thought somebody was going to get pushed to me. And in all actuality, everybody was depending on him, guarding him man for man. So this is an uncovered, easy touchdown for BYU there before the half. All right, this play right here, good little design. What you're going to get is you're going to get in this little wing hide position here. A lot of BYU runs come out of this set. So they're going to show this little run action right here up to the top. You're going to have fade out. And then down here to the bottom, I don't know what the play originally called was. I don't know if it's a skinny post. I don't know if it's a drift route, which means it's like a 5-step. It's kind of like a slant, but don't have a specific direction, meaning like it's not a specific, it's going to be this flat, it's going to be this skinny. You're mostly just getting into a space that's vacated by backers coming. So I'm not sure what the original play call was here, but it plays out much like a drift route. And you can see the reaction here. Yes, they caught him in man coverage, right? They caught him in man coverage. This is usually a little bit tougher versus press. Chase does a really good job of getting inside, pushing vertical, and winning here. You're going to have nobody on the inside because not only did they catch him in a pressure, but watch how these backers react to what they believe is this hard run fake here. So it's just like it's cover 1B, which means everybody's coming and there is no hole player here in the middle. And so you have this great scheme of its man coverage, and I'm going to give this action. Everybody bites up, and then now I can throw the ball. Here's the cool part to this. Watch when Keaton starts to separate his hands. Chase is still pushing vertically right here. He wins off the press, gets inside, but if you can see when Keaton separates his hands, Chase is still pushing vertical. He's just now putting his foot in the ground to break inside, and now his head is around. The ball is already in the air. Ball is already in the air. This is really, really good job by BYU. Good job by Keaton and Chase here. And this is why you get a big run after the catch, because it's man coverage. You've just beat the guy, and then now you have the safety to beat. And now the safety doesn't make the tackle. We're off to the races right here. This was a really, really good play. Big play for BYU right here as they start the second half. All right, here we go. A little wide pop from BYU. So they're going to sell. Watch this guard pull right here. So you're going to see this guard pull action right here. Guard pull. Line's going to give what looks like down blocks, right? This should get, you're going to see this run key that BYU is given is going to be honored by these backers. All right, so they give a run key. Here comes this backer. Now you're going to be able to run this wide pop through right here. This is a lot of what the New England Patriots would do with Rob Gronkowski. Now, they would do it with Tom Brady under center. And under center, he would give a little like open up step, skip step, or reverse stutter, whatever you want to call it. And they would use what looked like a little power action. They would pull the guard. Guard gets front side, and then you have Gronk going the other way, working back across. So you get these backers over here that get their run keys. And what do they see? They see linemen down blocking. They see a guard pulling. They see these key elements. They're going to step up. And then what you don't, like what you're not used to is now having a tight end run over the top of you that you basically lose vision on. And so that's a little bit of what BYU does here. They're going to give what looks like this power action right here with this guard pulling. And then here goes the tight end. Isaac's going to slip just right to that same space where that backer with the run key vacated from. Really nice catch by him, one-handed. As you can see, Keaton's probably starting his progression inside, one, to out. So basically, if there was that defender there that did not bite hard, Keaton would then progress on to the next receiver in the progression. But here it works out as planned. They also have a free player sitting there. If for some reason that free player were to be sitting underneath Isaac, now you can come out here, there's no free player. But this works really well. To be honest, I haven't seen BYU do this very often, and so it was probably a great wrinkle that Cincinnati hadn't seen. But they're going to sell that guard pull. Backer steps up. Now I just throw wide pop coming right behind him. Really, really good play again. 1st and 10. I love what BYU's done, being more aggressive at the end of the first half, and as they start this second half, some of the play calls and the ways that they're being aggressive on first down, and it's paying dividends for them. All right, 3rd and 13. BYU gets a touchdown out of this run. Not what they were calling the run play for, most likely, right? You're not anticipating on 3rd and 13 that you just call a simple zone run and that you go to the house with it. Most likely they're anticipating, let's get what we can get. It's a tight ball game here, 14-10. Don't want to try to force something here. Let's just get the field goal. But let's talk about why this play worked so well. BYU was able to get a little help here. So on the front side of this run, right, it's just the same type zone run that they had in the beginning of the game on that first drive. But you're going to see because the end comes high, we just take him where he wants to go. That's easy. Now everybody's working here, front side. Now, we get a little bit lucky because on the front side, this is the block that we don't really get well right here. As you can see, there's penetration in the backfield. He's working us, and then we lose leverage on him. So from this point right here, if we continue to run our feet, we run him right in the direction of where the running back's going. So this is something where you have to try to not get called for a hold. You can't pull on the guy. You just have to hope that as you're engaged with him, that he can't get off of you or reach out to make a tackle, which is what we get there, okay? In terms of angles, we didn't win on the angle. That guy won on the angle, but we do just enough that he doesn't make the tackle. Now, the key thing here is what's set up everywhere else. As you can see, we have blockers everywhere else. So in terms of this space and us with an opportunity to win, it's really, really good. Now, back puts his foot in the ground, steps up. We get a little bit lucky right here that this wasn't called. If you see right here, our receiver loses him just a little bit. You see the outstretched arm right here? Got to be really careful because that tug right there on the jersey and then taking him to the ground, we're really lucky that that didn't get called for right there. Because for the most part, a lot of the times those referees, what they're looking for is they see that this guy is winning to a space, and then what does this player do to keep him from making that tackle? So we get a little bit lucky right there. We get on this block just enough that because of speed and him stumbling, we get past it. And then the rest of it is just hard-nosed running. To get off of that right there, to keep his balance, cut inside, all of this is just a desire to get into the end zone. Really, really good play. Obviously, like I said, 3rd and 13. Not calling this to essentially say, I believe we can get a touchdown here, but it's calling it saying, let's get what we can get, and then the rest is just on hard-earned run. Yes, we got a little bit lucky there with the, hold not being called, but just a hard-earned run here for the touchdown. All right, 2nd and 8. BYU is going to run a little juke or choice route here on the inside to pick up this first down. So let's talk about what they're doing and why they're getting into this. When you get into this empty look, all they're running, real simple. They're going to run inside fade with hitches, inside fade with hitches. And then what they're doing is they're saying, we are going to give you space in the middle to be able to do what you want. You can win. Sorry, I'm going to clear that up. You can win where you want, how you want. You can choice here. You can settle here. You can push up. You can move and then juke across his face. This is something that I know I've talked about the New England Patriots in this clip, but this is something that Tom Brady used to do all the time. They would utilize Julian Edelman. They'd utilize Rob Gronkowski. They'd give the exact same thing. It's basically this widen fade, inside fade with the hitch, slot fade with the hitch, and then just like, look, we're going to give you this space. Do what you want in it. Win inside here. It's your choice. And so that's what BYU's doing right here, okay? In empty, they're going to give them a shell look from the defense. So when they stay in this shell look, you should get expansion. You should get expansion. And then what you should do is you should just, Chase is going to look inside here. He's going to look first at this defender that's over him. And then if he beats him, where's this guy pushing to? As you can see to this field space up here, he's moving there, moving there. So all Chase has to do is push up, give a little juke, work across the face of the guy that's in front of him, and it's an easy completion right here on this choice route in space. You're going to create space by being in empty, expand the defense, and then catch the ball and get upfield. Really good job here of picking up this first down. All right, here we go. The play that everybody was waiting for, all right? Magic Man, Keaton Slovis finds a way to get out of this. Throws a ball. And we all know the result of this one, right? Touchdown. All right, so everybody wants to know, who is Keaton throwing to? What's happening here? I don't know if it's been put out there yet, but let's talk about the play. All right, so what you're getting here, you remember that wide cross that BYU ran in the beginning of the game? In the beginning of the game, it was a go. I'll show it up real quick. This is not what this one exactly is. I'm just kind of showing. In the beginning of the game, you had a go, an out, a deep cross, and a backside in cut. And then the back was on a check down, either there or going to be a swing. Okay, remember that concept? This is a similar play. The variation is the formation, right? You can just change it up a little bit. But you're getting similarly, you're going to get a go route, all right? The back is to this side of the field. So he may not get out as quick, but he will be your flat control. So he's probably not going to run and push up and run an out route, but what he'll do is he'll go to the flat. Now, with Isaac off the ball, usually he's our Y cross runner, but now he's off the ball. So what does that tell you? That tells you he's in protection. Because he's in protection, he's going to end up being the person that's going to be running the check down. So because he's now the check down, that means one of these receivers up here from this stack is going to be getting the cross. So you're going to have a cross, and then you'll have a widened backside in cut. But can you see on the field, I'll draw an overlay of the other route. There's the go. There's the 5-yard out. There's the tight end over. There's the in cut. And there's the check down. See, it's the similar play, exact same play, but we're just going to design it up from a little bit different formation, right? This is a much more of a run alignment. So now what you can do is you can start to kind of like, chances are you're going to get certain coverages. So what do they get here? They get man coverage. As you can see, man coverage. This is the free floater player. I'm going to drop back up just a little bit. Here you're going to see locked up man, locked up man. You can see as Isaac starts to release, locked up man, we're man here. So awesome. This cross should be pretty good, but we don't pick up one of the blitzers. So in protection, I'm not sure who the line went at. It looks like where the line went, there was a little bit of confusion of where the chip would be and where the line pushed out to. These guys look like they were turning here. We should be in a 7-man protection, which means we have 7 here. We should be able to pick it up all right. But it looks like the lineman forgot that they had Isaac here helping on the edge, and so nobody steps back inside for this backer. So you can see we get a double team here on that D end right here, but he's not the end man on the line of scrimmage. And then so this guard should be inside there. At least that's what I'm assuming, right? I'm not in their meetings, so I can't say what they were told going into based off of the front. But in terms of the number of people, this is your down lineman, down lineman, down lineman, down lineman. And then I would consider him, oh, you know what? Sorry. I've been watching 4-down tape. They're a 3-down scheme team. So these are your defensive linemen. They're shifted so that this player is now your 1 technique. There's your 3. So that's treated as like an end. And then this is treated as like a backer on the ball, and that's another backer. But we should be totally fine here. Usually what would happen is the line is going to account these 3 for these 3. And then you have these 3 to there. And the back only has to worry if somebody's coming off this edge. Now, it depends on what they count him as, if they count him as a known rusher lineman or if they count him as a linebacker. If they're counting him as a linebacker, that would be the running backs guy, and you would see the line move in this direction. But back to now where the ball is going to. If you watch Keaton, he fills the free rusher, so he avoids the free rusher. Pretty nifty job there. And now he's trying to get the ball to the deep cross. This is a throw where he's hurrying. He's trying to get it to the deep cross. And you will see right here, there's that deep cross player coming in man coverage. There's that backside in cut. Here's the go route. Well, what happens is as Chase runs his go route, he's getting stifled by this corner. And the ball's not out yet. And he can feel that the ball is not being delivered yet. And he almost treats it like scramble rules. So he stops. And just right in the moment that he starts to turn back towards Keaton, this ball gets thrown in the air and it's slightly overthrown too. You can see the white cross right here. The white cross is making an attempt at it. And as he makes an attempt at it, it just so happens that our dude made a move to come back towards the quarterback and makes a play on it. And we get a gigantic play from it. So, I'm sure Keaton's talked about it already, but you can tell also by the reaction that happened in the game by the other quarterbacks that he was talking to after the play, that obviously he made a great move to get away from the defender, threw a ball a little bit high, but fortunately lands in our guy's hands and he takes off for a touchdown. All right, this is the play that sets up the touchdown. I know initially it looked like it was going to be a touchdown, but they put it on like the 1 foot line and we score a play later. Basically what this is this is just a sprint right. This is a very old school West Coast, right? They used to run it where it was sprint right option, they called it. He's just going to run an out route. If they're in like a stack alignment or a condensed alignment, a lot of the times this player is pushing in and running a corner route the other way. But here, I've seen BYU use this a number of times. And however Fessy is coaching it up, or A-Rod, they do a really good job of freezing this defender. I remember a play. This was a couple years ago when it was Zach's junior year. They were playing that game during COVID against San Diego State, and it was like the field was frozen. It was really, really cold. And basically what they do is as they push up right here, this little delay that they go through, this little delay, what that does is that just settles the feet of the defender. And here the defender feels, here's the sprint action, and we get the good edge here. But this defender settles just enough that I swear this works like 99% of the time. Our guy pushes up, delays, and then just sprints out of it and just beats him with speed. And I see this happen all the time. Fade guy occupies eyes, making sure that he can't get eyes on what's going on. But it's literally just an isolated one-on-one, and Keaton just sprints towards it. And this little bit of separation happens all of the time. I mean, this may seem like a simple, insignificant play, but that's why I put it up there. I wanted to highlight what is happening here with the delay and then the sprint out, right? That right there, that delay has such an impact on him that it gives us that opportunity to win. You can see I let it go in full speed right there. You can see Chase push up, delay, and then he breaks out, and he is just hauling and winning with speed. All right, so the TV copy didn't catch the full portion of this play. It was zoomed in on Keaton, and it just showed him catch the ball, give a little pump fake, and then throw the ball downfield. But it did show this little clip of what's happening. So what I want to highlight is you can see this little swing out of the backfield right here. This swing out of the backfield, this is what Keaton pumped. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to sell that they're running this little swing screen right here, right, where we're going to block and we're going to block. This guy's got eyes on, but he can still feel presence of the receiver. So Keaton pumps, and then what you're getting is you're getting a vertical stem, and a post. And what that's going to do is that's going to occupy this player, because what he's going to see is he's going to see the ball pumped here, and then he's going to see Keaton take his eyes downfield. So when he feels the influence of this post, he is going to run with the post. The player that you are hoping triggers is this player right here, because his eyes are going to be on this back, and then he feels our receiver push in front to try to get good leverage on a block. So then what you're hoping is that right here, as he triggers, we slip him. And when we slip him, we then wheel up the sideline. And that's exactly what happens right here. Here you can see there's the slip. So let's set it up. Let's make it look like we're blocking. There's the slip. And now once that slip happens, this is the space that we are trying to get to. Remember, he is going to run the corner off. This is the space that he's going to work to. And as you can see, there's the runoff happening right there. And here's the space that we can throw the ball into. And so that's why you see Keaton. Here you can see Keaton right here at the bottom of the screen. This is why he's getting rid of the ball so quickly, because it happened exactly like we want. And what we don't want is we don't want to have a ball that hangs in the air and allows this guy with eyes to fall off. So it's a big job of this receiver. You got to push vertical, as make this guy feel like you're going to run by him, like it's a shot play. If you can make it feel like we are fake pumping right here and we're taking a shot, this guy is going to get out of here. And if he gets out of there and you have reaction, there's that space right there. There's that hole, and Keaton drops it right in it perfectly, and we get a little extra. Really well executed play. You see BYU use this a lot early in the season. They dialed this play up, and BYU was aggressive to it. And this player backed up, and they had the safety member. I think it was it Sam Houston was running over, and we tried to squeeze it in. Right? It's a play that, man, when it is there, it is there. Sometimes it's not. And sometimes what you got to do is you got to go right back to this guy. If they don't trigger and bite hard and they get out of there, you got to go right back here. But this worked out really well. Just how we wanted it to play out. It works, and it's a big chunk game. Okay, here's a play that we've seen often. It's an inside run, but then they tag with it this Y. I like to call it like a line screen. Basically what it means is that the Y is going to stay behind the line of scrimmage so that our player can come and block the person that's running with him. But what this does is if you give the handoff, it's basically removed a player without him having to get blocked. So when you look at numbers, as Keaton looks out here, because he's making this decision, what he's doing is right here, he can decide, what do I want to give? If I feel like space and width is happening, I can give the run. When I give the run and this end isn't crashing hard, there isn't going to be anybody. If he cuts back, there's not going to be anybody until it's a safety. So this can be a good run. And now sometimes I don't know if it's off just pure expansion or if it's actually off of the end. But a lot of teams run this where basically on the front side, you have something you could take if you wanted it. I don't think BYU here. I think this is just window dressing to get him to expand. I don't think this is actually a true, I can take this if I want, or I can give the handoff, or I can throw the Y line screen. I don't think it's that. I think this is window dressing over here. It's an inside zone. And then if I feel like I have them out leveraged, I can take that flat. So here he sticks with the run. And as you see, we get great blocking here, end comes upfield. This is all ideal. Gives our running back an opportunity to cut back right here. This is beautiful. Really well done. And then this little move right here, this little hesitation, such a good little move here by a young player. The thing that I'm really impressed with this running back, patience, but then speed when he puts his foot in the ground. And right here, this would be easy for a young player to just, as he's still getting accustomed to the speed of the game, to just go get what I can get. But for him to have this little hesitation right here, stay on his feet, drive and get even a little bit more, like this is just really impressive for a young back. Ways that I can improve the content that I'm putting together. I enjoy doing this. Obviously, in my busy schedule, sometimes things can get a little crazy, but I try to put out the plays that matter most in the game, or the plays where we can learn something from it, and I can show you why they do it. So thanks again, and I look forward to the next one we put out.